Hello, and welcome to Happy Horror Time. My name is Tim Murdoch.
And my name is Matt Emmert. I'm always wondering what you're thinking at the beginning.
You don't want to know.
I want to know because, listeners and watchers, we always start and Tim starts with the welcome to Happy Horror Time. And half the time you're laughing. So I want to know what is going through your head.
You couldn't handle it. Strictly sexual.
I bet. I was going to say it's filthy. Tim's thinking of, wait, let me speak in Tim words. Wieners.
No.
Boobies.
Definitely not.
That's true. So Tim, how have you been?
Great. I saw Harry Potter, the Cursed Child.
The musical.
It wasn't a musical. It was just a straight up play.
Okay, and why?
Because I love theater and it was really cheap seats. But whoever got me the ticket, we were like sixth row back. It was fantastic.
So if you watched one of our previous episodes, Tim went to see Annie, and I joked that I was like, there's no way I would go.
Can we reenact it again?
Yeah, go.
Okay. So, hey, Matt, do you want to go see Annie?
Fuck no.
Oh,
now,
okay.
I mean, Tim also asked me about Harry Potter. Let's reenact that.
Matt, do you want to go see Harry Potter?
Not a chance.
Oh, okay.
The funny thing is I'm getting this bad rap like I don't like theater. I love theater.
Here's the thing. I don't like Harry Potter. I know that's a controversial statement, but I do like plays, and I thought this would be fun, and I did get all emotional. And I didn't know The Cursed Child was basically like a boy love story. I didn't know.
I mean, now it's sounding more appealing. The thing is, I love theater. I usually go when I visit my family in New York. We go to a play or a musical. I've seen a ton, but I'm not into Annie, and I was never a Harry Potter person. Now, if you had told me, hey, it's Harry Potter but gay, maybe I would have been into it.
What if I told you it's Harry Potter and Annie? Combined.
Harry Annie?
Ew.
That's so creepy. What if it was Annie Potter and she was grown up and she married Harry?
She was like, I can't fit the Gryffindor hat on because of my curly hair.
And she's like, the sun will come out.
Hufflepuff.
On in Hufflepuff. Oh my God. Okay, anyway, there's a few taking care of business things I want to do that we haven't done in a while. I want to do some plugs.
Yeah.
Plugs, Tim. Because if you're watching this and a couple things and don't know that we have a Patreon, I am going to do a shameless plug. If you're wondering why every episode of ours is about a new horror movie and you're like, I want to hear those guys talk about movies from the past, we do that on our Patreon. You can sign up and support the podcast at patreon.com/happyhorrortime. We do 2 bonus episodes a month. We come up with a fun theme. We let patrons vote on that. They can join us for an episode. We have a newsletter that goes out every month. We do an after show. We have a Discord chat, tons of perks. It really helps us out. So if you like the podcast and want more, join our Patreon.
Yes. And we had someone on Patreon that came from a different country, which my little tiny brain was exploding during it.
So this month, our theme is demented doctors. And we gave the opportunity for a patron to join us in a bonus episode. And one of our patrons, Charlotte, picked the movie The Dentist. And she lives in Scotland. And the best is, this episode's coming out this month. Tim is talking to her like she's from another planet. Do you guys have movie theaters there?
No, I literally was like the dumb American. I was such a dumb. So if you listen to it, you can hear me just be like so fascinated that someone doesn't live in the USA.
Now that's a perk alone to join our Patreon. But it was funny because I finally had to say, Tim, she's just in the United Kingdom.
She's just like us.
She's not on Mars.
She might as well have been because I've never been to Mars or the UK.
Well, they're just as close to each other. Yeah, so that's the kind of stuff we do on Patreon. The other thing that if you are if you've subscribed to our YouTube channel, you've noticed that we have been doing weekly news commentary videos. Every Wednesday, we release a video where we comment on whatever's going on in horror news. We get the scoop.
That's right.
We're actually not scoopers. Everything's been reported on. We're just giving our thoughts.
I've got my boots on the ground and I'm hunting the
You're hunting?
Yes, the horror of Hollywood.
Wow, say that 5 times fast.
I can't.
Hunting the horror of Hollywood.
I can't do it.
So we do every Wednesday. We've been doing news commentaries, and every Friday we've been doing ranking videos where either Tim or myself will rank anything from the films within a popular franchise, Final Girls, our favorite actors from Tim's favorite soap.
Yeah, and speaking of that, I do want to say we put out
Bold and the Beautiful stars in horror.
And I totally forgot about actor Peter Barton from Friday the 13th Part 4, the final chapter. So I can't believe he didn't make my ranking because Friday the 13th is my favorite. And his death is so good because he gets his face crushed in the shower naked.
So I know nothing about Bold and the Beautiful except for what Tim has told me. And Peter Barton, I am shocked. so we interviewed him on the podcast. It was one of our favorite interviews because he's so like honest and revealing. But now that he didn't make your Bold and a Beautiful list, Tim.
I know, I dropped the ball.
But there have been so many people on soaps that are in horror. But that's just one. I ranked like top 10 characters who should have survived their horror movies. But these videos come out every Friday. So if you're listening to this, please go to our YouTube. It's just youtube.com/happyhorrortime and subscribe. You can see those weekly videos. So we just got a lot of content going out there.
And it's really, really fun for us. So hopefully it's fun for you.
Yeah, I hope so. Oh my God. But it's also, Tim and I record together very often.
I know. I'm sick of your face. I'm just kidding. It's a beautiful face.
You know what I've bet you? We've gotten a few comments from people on like all the different horror shirts we wear. And number one, thank you for noticing. Number two, I'm running out of different shirts.
Me too. So if anyone wants to give me some, I'm like a medium/small on a good day if I don't have a burger.
I'm a large on every day. And I'm running out of shirts. So now I'm like going to have to redo them because with all the content we're doing, I can't wear a different shirt all the time. But
I'm so far I've done it.
That shirt looks like you've had it for faded. 250 years.
I really dug this out of the gutter.
it looks okay.
But it smells good, like Downy Fresh.
Shout out for my friend Blake Borkovitz, who got me this shirt very recently. It's Pinhead. And now if you're thinking, Matt, you've never talked about how much you like the Hellraiser movies, you're right.
Yes, we have. Hellraiser 3 starring Paula Marshall.
I appreciate the Hellraiser movies. They're not my favorite, but I had 0 Pinhead shirts. So I was so excited about this one because he is iconic and I don't have any other shirts.
Maybe you could shrink it and give it to me.
It's already shrunk. It's large, but it feels like a medium. So if you're wondering why like I'm busting out, that's why. I'm busting out.
Guys,
Tim.
Okay, women have boobs, men have pecs.
Anything else you'd like to discuss depending on the
all.
anatomy? Men have penises, women have vaginas.
This is news. No, this is news.
Tim, we're going to teach Tim basic anatomy today on the podcast. Anyway, so that is really what else are we doing on our YouTube channel? And I think that covers it, right?
I mean, I get mine mixed with OnlyFans. I get it mixed up.
Oh, yeah. What do you really see on OnlyFans right now?
It's just like me cooking and making cookies.
Okay, I already know that's a lie because you don't cook. I'm like, the jig is up when Tim says he's cooking.
Oh, yeah, I don't cook at all. Pop-Tart, cereal.
Have you ever, like, for Thanksgiving, just, like, tried a dish or something?
I mean, I'll try a dish, but I ain't making a dish.
I meant try to make
and I am the dish.
Oh,
that's right.
Okay. So let's get into our movie. Now, the movie we are talking about today is part shark flick.
Oh my God.
Did I say shark flick?
I think you did. I was like, can you talk about sharks?
That is definitely not a shark flick. It is a shark flick, part survival horror. It's called Dangerous Animals. Now, Tim, are you a dangerous animal?
I think, from this movie, I learned that man is really the dangerous animal, and the shark's kind of an afterthought.
That's so funny you said that. You've jumped ahead to like
the end? Thank you.
It really did feel like this movie was saying the true dangerous animal is man going nuts because the sharks are minding their own business.
What's the like that question that's being asked to women? Like, would you rather be in the woods with a bear or a man? And like a lot of people say, like, I'm sorry, a lot of women say, like, I'd rather be in the woods with a man.
Wait, is that like a thing?
It's a thing.
It's like a thing.
It's a thing.
I mean, because they probably know exactly what they need to do to get away from a bear. Men are unpredictable.
Crazy.
Yeah. No, I would. That's such a loaded question. Like, because is the bear? There's so many other things I'd be thinking of.
And the movie's not called Dangerous Bears. It's called Dangerous Animals.
But again, there has to be a reason the title is Dangerous Animals, aka not Dangerous Fish, because it's encapsulating man in this because man is the dangerous animal. And we'll get to all that. But like, there's got to be a reason they didn't call it like Scary Shark, you know?
The guy's Australian, right?
The director?
I mean, the lead guy in the film, it takes place in Australia, right?
Yes. So the main star of this movie is Jai Courtney. He is an Australian-born actor, and he was actually in a lot of movies we didn't see, like Terminator Genesis.
I actually did see that.
Oh, I didn't see that. A Good Day to Die Hard. Did you see that?
Yes, I did.
He played... Jesus.
But these are movies that one and done.
Okay, he played Bruce Willis's son. I told you he was on the Spartacus season like a long time ago, and he was always like almost naked. He is a beefcake, if I could ever use that word more appropriately. Jai Courtney is a good-looking, I can't believe I'm going to say this, but like as the gays say, like he's a daddy.
Oh, okay. My impression of Jay Courtney
Jai.
is Jai.
Or did I? Oh my God! What if it is Jay?
I mean,
don't
we'll
know.
never know.
Okay, it's spelled Jai. That
Right.
sounds like Jai. Anyway, whatever. Go.
So my impression of him, like throughout the whole entire movie, I went back and forth. Like, do I think he's attractive? Do I not think he's attractive? Like, right now, I mean, like there was some I was like, ooh, and then I was like, ooh.
It was scary attractive. It's almost like when you have those thoughts of like you see like someone like the bad boy, and of course he's a homicidal maniac, not homosexual.
He's
maniac.
a homosexual maniac.
But there is a scene, and this is in the trailer, where he is dancing in his underwear and a robe, and he's pretty good looking.
Yeah, he really owned that scene. I was like, oh, he doesn't look embarrassed. Like he was owning it. And you kind of have to in this role because he was like straightforward crazy.
This has got to be, again, I haven't seen his body of work. I've seen his body.
Yo, Miyako.
I've seen his body, but I have not seen his body of work. But this has got to be a great role for him because this is his movie. Well, it's his movie, and our main lead girl, she is played by Hassie Harrison. She plays in the movie Zephyr. She is an American actress, but the movie takes place in Australia it's actually on the Gold Coast, which is right around that area. But basically, so we'll kind of get into this because there's a good opening scene.
It's very complex.
And it's not complex at all. There's an opening scene where there's like two tourists that are going to, it's called Tucker's Experiences, and that's Jai Courtney is Tucker, and it's swimming with sharks, and he takes them on the ocean, and before he takes them on the ocean,
says like he goes, so because they decide they're skipping SeaWorld, and they're like, he goes, so no one knows you're here.
It's so funny. So he's like they overslept, so they missed the SeaWorld thing, and they're like the biggest mistake of their lives, and he's like, yeah, no one knows you're here, so he takes them out in the middle of nowhere. And the girl, God bless her, she's so nervous to swim with sharks. And, as viewers,
and rightfully so.
We're thinking, that's not what you need to be nervous about, girl.
This man, crazy.
So he first puts them in like a cage with sharks, and it's a good suspense building scene because you think something's going to happen there, but no, everything's good. They do it. She calms down and enjoys it.
They get out of the water, and the guy, this movie, all three guys that are in the film, well, I guess there's a fourth guy in it as well. They're all really, really good looking.
I think everyone in this film, girls and guys, they cast beautiful human beings in this movie, but they're all psyched. We did our shark experience, and then Jai Courtney out of nowhere stabs the guy twice in the throat and pushes him in the water. And what does he say to the girl? He's like now it's time to scream, or
right?
something
like that.
Yeah, and then it goes to credits. So I thought that was an effective opening.
It was a weird opening because it wasn't like a haunting, spooky movie. It was like, it almost looked like Fast Times at Ridgemont High or like Valley Girl. It was like people surfing. It was like Dangerous Animals. It was like, this is who's in the movie and this is who's in the movie. I was like, oh, that's an interesting angle.
I did get that after this suspenseful opening, when the credits come on, like music's going, and then all the credits are coming up like it's like Clueless.
Yeah, it was like in the font of the names looked like Clueless.
It really did. It gave me a Clueless feel. The only thing I can think is that maybe they were like, okay, now let's like lighten the mood for a bit, because we do get into a stretch where there is zero suspense because they are trying to build up the character of Zephyr. That is our lead girl.
I don't love the name, but I love the girl.
The girl is, I just got to say, and I'm going to also wait till the end to say this because I thought her performance was so great. I just loved her. Like, I feel like she's going to make one of my like top 10 final girl lists because she was just, her performance and the character, I just loved her. She was so fucking tough.
I agree. Like, there was nothing about her I didn't like.
No.
She's absolutely gorgeous. I mean, my eyes were on her the whole time. And you told me she's 36. I thought she was 26.
She's this blonde. She plays this blonde surfer who has like left her family. We don't get a ton of backstory on her, right? Like,
she's basically no nonsense. Like, she doesn't want to put herself out there for love. And like,
no way.
A lot of this movie, our movie was packed. So the reactions for her in a relationship were sometimes bigger than the shark scenes.
Well, because, okay, so what I will say about this movie, as much as I really enjoyed it, there was a little bit of cheesy dialogue. When they were trying to build the characters, there were some laughable moments where the audience, like, you could audibly hear people laughing, and not because it was funny, they were laughing at the dialogue. Because what happened is Zephyr meets this guy named Moses, and by the way, the guy who plays Moses, his name is Josh Houston. Now, I looked him up because he's so gorgeous, it was distracting. And what I mean is that his body looked like a model, and then I found out he is a model. Like, tell me I'm wrong on that.
No, he was absolutely gorgeous. Well, the thing is like, it's been a while since I've seen a movie where the two leads are so ridiculously good looking. And she's got a tan, he's got a tan. I wanted a tan.
They're both like, they're so sexy, both of them. So, and he's just so good looking. And at first when she meets him, he's dressed almost like a Mormon, and she thinks he's a missionary, and he's like, no, I'm a real estate agent. And first she doesn't like him, but she gives him a ride to her car. Then, of course, they flirt and they're talking about songs, and then they're fucking.
Well, pretty much. Well, there's this weird thing where like she's got this humongous slushy, and like she puts a pint of like ice cream in it, and he's like, "I'll turn you in," and she's
steal.
like, "What?"
First off, didn't you think I thought this is funny. She paid for a slushie, which let's say $3-4, so she could steal a pint of ice cream, which is what, $6-7? Like, what's the difference?
Maybe she only had $7 exactly.
I just love that she, of all things, she stole a pint of ice cream.
It was a meet cute, and it was a clever idea putting the ice cream inside the slushie. All of that's fun, and it builds their relationship that's so ridiculously cute.
They have this kind of it's not a graphic sex scene, but they are rolling around a lot.
It's a little graphic. It was more than anything. I thought.
They are rolling around and thrusting a bunch, but you don't actually see anything.
But the aftermath of them doing it
of sex.
Yes, the aftermath of sex, where they're like, she's sitting on this side and he's sitting on this side, and just like the beautifulness of the scene of just them in their tan bodies
smoking. They were smoking the joint, I think.
And they were just kind of in a white sheet against their like ridiculously tan skin.
Yeah.
I was like, this looks like a beautiful painting.
That's what I was thinking. It could have been like a photograph. Like they're both they're only covered by the cover, and they're like smoking a joint and they're relaxing, and they're both so good looking. But anyway, he's every girl or guy's dream, because he tries to make her breakfast and he's already like in love.
Oh, and they like do all this in her van because she doesn't want to go into his big, beautiful house.
Yeah, but she lives in her van, but she ends up taking off in the morning without saying goodbye because she wants to go and catch some waves, because that's what you do, Tim.
Right.
Tim, have you ever left in the middle of the night to catch some waves?
I can't think of a morning where I didn't do that.
In Ohio.
Because I have so many walls up and I'm such a mysterious character.
You're such a mysterious girl.
I am. So I was like, I gotta go.
Tim, when he was in Ohio, he had to dip out to go catch some waves.
Lake Erie? I don't even know.
In the freezing cold Lake Erie. And can you imagine using as an excuse, I gotta catch a wave? Where?
I meant canoeing.
I'm canoeing on the river. No, on the lake. Anyway, by the way, speaking of hookups and leaving in the middle of the night, I don't think I've ever left before someone woke up. Have you ever done that?
I mean, it's been a while since that stage. That part of those chapters are a little over, but I do remember just kind of like rushing out.
I would never just leave. But the thing is that he texts her, and
this is the scene that got the biggest laugh from our audience.
He says, like, was I really that bad, with like an eggplant emoji? And she said, like, what did she do? Like, the early bird gets the barrel. It's a surfing term.
So are we gonna like? He's like, can we meet again? She goes, it's a free. Well, she said like, I'd like that, and then takes it away and says like, it's a free beach or something like that.
It's so funny because the audience is watching. They're like, you know that she likes him, but she's so guarded. She stops herself from texting, I'd like that, and she deletes it and then types in, well, it's a free ocean.
I actually thought that was more suspenseful than the shark scene.
Everybody was kind of laughing, but kind of cringing, but kind of like enjoying it.
I think that's relatable because there's always someone in a relationship that has got their walls up.
I think I
related to that because I'm like tan and good looking.
Of course, a model, and a surfer too. Yeah. I think why the audience may have been reacting the way they did was because we just got this opening scene where like someone got killed and someone's screaming, and then we're in like a romantic comedy. So it was a little bit of a tone change. Not bad. They had to develop these characters.
If it was just a guy throwing people to sharks
the whole time,
it'd be numbing.
Well, we wouldn't have cared about it.
Yeah, we wouldn't have cared. We're like, who's this?
Well, right in the middle of texting, a plastic bag gets put over Zephyr's head. She gets kidnapped by Tucker, Jai Courtney, and like he brings her to his boat. And when she wakes up, she is chained to a bed with one hand with like a handcuff. And next to her is the girl from the opening scene who's been chained there for like, what, a day?
And this is probably the grossest part of the movie for me.
Oh, I know what you're going to say.
So next, between the two girls is a bucket. And on the bucket is like a roll of toilet paper. And she's like, sorry about the smell. And I was like, I'm sorry I had to see that.
I know. You know what? The reason I don't mind something like that is because
it's the number one question, right?
Well, everyone is wondering in movies, why don't people go to the bathroom? When you are held captive in a room, the first question is, well, how do you go to the bathroom? So they addressed it right away with a bucket. You didn't have to see in the bucket, though.
I know. I mean, like, part of me is like...
just keep it a mystery.
Well, it's like the Brady Bunch. You know, like, we don't know where the bathroom is in the house. Like, did they ever show a toilet on the Brady Bunch?
Yeah, because I watched every Brady Bunch. Sorry, let me go through my mental...
Yeah, okay. Please, did you find it?
One scene.
Okay.
Martha.
Who's Martha? I don't know where your brain is.
Marsha's in the bathroom, and her dad walks in, and he's like, "Sorry." No, I have no idea.
Right. No idea. But like, there was a part of me that's like, oh, I don't want to know this, but at the same time, you have to address the elephant in the room.
Yeah, and the elephant of the room is Jai Courtney comes in there, and first off, right away, the girl from the opening scene, she's just kind of scared and calm and doing nothing. And right away, Zephyr is fighting. She's trying to break out of the handcuffs. She's trying to figure out a way to pick the lock to everything. But unfortunately, Jai Courtney, he, in the semblance of giving them water, he drugs them. And when Zephyr wakes up, she's on the deck of the boat in like a chair, and the other girl is attached to a harness. And Jai Courtney is videotaping. Now, Tim brought a prop.
I brought a prop.
Because he is not using an iPhone. Nope. He's not using a digital camera. He's using like a VHS camera. And this, would you say this is the most intense? No, this isn't the most intense scene, but this is the most disturbing scene.
Yeah, I mean, I thought the most disturbing scene was the texting scene.
That's disturbing. Okay, let me just paint this out for you. She's on a harness. He has a control where he lifts her up and he lifts her above the water, and he's put a bunch of blood and chum stuff.
Yes, it's chum, which that word just makes me weird. It's disgusting.
Because it sounds like cum. So there's sharks swimming around, and he slowly is pushing her down into the water. The girls are screaming. It is hard to watch. And then he just lets her there like halfway above, waist deep in the water. And the sharks just start taking her and like pulling her back and forth. It reminded me of original Jaws.
You know what? You're absolutely right, Matt. It is the most intense scene in the movie.
It was disturbing to watch because, first off, when you're watching people suffering and screaming, that's hard as any human being to watch. They're pleading with him, please, please, please. He doesn't care. He's just like, get my movie. Right. And she gets like, you don't see all the gore, but she gets ripped in half.
Well, the cool part is, and I don't know if he stole this from Jaws. I mean, I read somewhere that the director watched like a lot of shark films. And you know, this movie, yes, it's a shark film, but I mean, I'm going to stop the podcast and say this.
Stop it.
I don't think the sharks looked particularly real. Like, I don't think at any point I was like, oh, that's a real footage. Did you?
So,
I mean, I don't mind.
It's tough because if we're even talking about the idea of, is this a shark movie? To be honest, the sharks were all secondary for me. Like, really, this is about this serial killer versus this girl, and he's using the sharks as his method of killing them, and he gets off on like feeding them to them. So I guess it would be a shark movie, but it's not like Jaws where it's only about the shark. No, like it had more layers to it.
Like in the tradition of the movie being called Dangerous Animals, I think he is a cat and she is a mouse. It's a cat and mouse movie.
It is 100% a cat and mouse movie because you'll see after they got through this scene, it really is him versus her and just back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. But it is tough. What I really thought was unique about this movie is that when there are shark movies, they usually 100% are focused on the sharks. This one was like a shark movie that, again, the sharks were kind of secondary. So that was kind of cool for me because it's different. I didn't mind,
but the posters, by the way, I love all the posters for this movie. I love the marketing. I think it's great. Where was I going with that?
Oh, I don't know, but I forgot to answer. God only knows. No. But I forgot to answer your question. When we did get to footage underwater of just seeing the sharks, yes, it looked a little bit like stock video. Now,
I didn't even think it looked like stock video.
Oh, like you thought it was CGI?
I mean, not that it was like
some of it, probably.
Right.
Yeah.
Like we've seen a lot of shark movies, like the one with Alicia Silverstone.
The Requiem.
That was horrible. And then Katrina Bowden from The Bold and the Beautiful, called Great White. That was rough.
And Piranha 3. No, but that's not shark.
Right. But I mean, it's still underwater. But one thing this movie really did well is when the girl was getting bitten and stuff like that, it was reminiscent of Jaws, the original. Yeah, that's
what I said. She went like Chrissy when she's getting pulled.
But when I don't know if you remember this one shot, and if you already mentioned it, I don't know where my brain was, but they showed her like leg just kind of drift off into the water.
No,
I was like, that is a powerful shot.
It is. And again, remember when you have, in Jaws, the original Jaws, because they were keeping it PG, we only see a little bit of Chrissy suffering. Of course, we do hear her screaming when she's getting bit, but in this movie, what makes it so tough to watch is like they are screaming, pleading, and it's slowly being, like lowered down into the water. So you know what's going to happen to her. And because it's slow, it makes it even worse to watch. But when she does get like pulled apart, you know she's suffering, being bitten. And then, like Tim said, not only do you see her like leg like that, later in the movie, you see just her head and neck piece, just that like floating in the water.
No, it's a very effective. I mean, granted, it's so fake. It's not like, I don't want to say it's so fake. Obviously, it's not even a practical effect. Yeah. It is computer generated, but it's to the point where you're like, that's pretty effective. Yeah. But it's like this part's all cut up, and then like parts of her face are all like chomped on.
Totally messed up. So anyway, Zephyr knows and he says basically, you're going to be tomorrow night's show. So she knows she needs to get the fuck out. And first, again, she's such a fighter and this movie, it should be called Escape Attempts, because how many like escape attempts did she make?
It's really like all of them, you would think that like it'd be no problem. Like she escaped, but like somehow he always gets her. And it's like, that is the part of this film that really is just like,
but that was the beauty of it for me, is that there are so many attempts that she makes and she's always so close to getting out and then he gets her, or she's so close to getting someone's attention and then he gets her. And it takes you on this like emotional roller coaster. And I guess for me, there haven't been a lot of movies lately where I'm just like, please let her get out. Please let her, like, you're just like, didn't you feel that way? Like, oh my God, get to that beach.
There was a part of me that I did check my watch, but not because I didn't like the movie. It was just because I was like, I knew that she was going to live. I knew that guy was going to get eaten by a shark. I mean, I knew all these steps were coming, but like just to sit in the uncomfortability of the film.
Speaking of uncomfortability, can I just take one quick moment to talk about the girl who was sitting 2 down from me?
Yeah. Oh, that was different.
So again, don't know what this girl's story is, but when she walked into the movie theater, we're with a group of people, she had like a complete stone face, no reaction. And she sat down and she was sitting very upright with her expression was like this.
Yeah, I mean,
she was like rocking a little, and some trailers came on and some of them were like comedy and everyone's laughing, and I turned and she's just,
maybe,
and I thought either she was highly medicated or she was a serial killer.
Right, either one, which is fine. They want to see shark movies too.
What did you think? Were you a little nervous by her?
I didn't know. I wasn't. I was, because
I totally was.
I maybe it was just, I know not everyone's like us. We're like animated, crazy cartoons. But like,
I just wanted a human reaction from her.
I don't think she was going to give us one.
and that's why it's like, again, it's like, I wasn't like, it sounds creepy like I'm watching her. Like we all noticed her, everyone in our group, because she just sat down right next to us and was just like, anyway, I'm just going to do this.
No, it was spooky.
It was spooky.
I wasn't as afraid because I know she's not a shark.
She's not a shark. She's not a dangerous animal.
Yeah, she's not a dangerous
animal. But Tim, remember,
the
dangerous animal is us.
That's so true, men.
Okay, so jumping back into, so Zephyr knows she needs to get the fuck out of there like that night. She's able to get like a piece of something that ends up being like a blade. What was it? Like a
she
plastic?
Took the plastic part of the bucket. She takes it off, cracks it in half, and she stabs him right here.
She stabs him, and she's able to get out of her handcuffs, and she's like running.
She takes this and throws it.
She throws the camera off, but not before he gets a syringe of the drug into her, and she jumps in the water to swim away and then just starts fading below.
He had a hook and he pulled her back up. But then on land, he goes to like what's that called? Like a
well, this is the funny thing. Because she has ruined his camera, and by all means, he's not going to use an iPhone. He has to go to like a swap meet or something.
Yeah, it's like a thrift store.
To get a new camera. Now, all the time this is going on, we go back to the really cute guy she had the one night stand with, Moses, and he's been trying to get in contact with her, and she's missing, and he even sees her van gets towed, and he's like, something's not right. So he hacks into like beach footage.
Yeah, and he's like, huh, okay, there goes her van.
There goes Tucker's Experience's car right after. So he goes to visit like the Tucker's Experience, and he ends up going on the boat because Jai Courtney's gone getting his new camera.
He like listens down to the ground. He's like, oh, there's a struggle. He
hears a girl screaming. Yeah.
I was so impressed. And then like he goes down to the thing, he opens the door, there she is.
And you're like, oh my God, they're saved.
The movie's over.
They're saved. So she's so thankful to see him. He's great. Of course, Tucker's coming back right then, and Moses and Tucker get in this huge fight, and like it is brutal.
It is, and I was like, well, first off, one thing that they don't really address ever is like, doesn't he put like a hook in his back? Or I know he gets knocked out, and there's a lot of
I know that he gets punched and stuff.
But
I
thought I saw 2 hooks go into the guy's back.
Oh, I don't remember
because
that.
He'd die.
But yeah, I know exactly. But it is so brutal. But Moses gets the upper hand, and he's like strangling Tucker with like it's like
it's like he puts a bar here.
Yeah,
and like I actually thought, well, I knew the movie would not.
It was too early for the movie to be dead. But right when you think he's going to strangle the killer, the neighbor. This idiot guy comes in thinking, oh my God, why is this guy attacking poor Tucker? Knocks Moses off of him. But then he hears the girl screaming, realizes Tucker is actually a villain. And then Tucker takes a hook, hooks it into his head.
And it didn't remind you of the death scene from Halloween 5?
Oh, with the yes, with
the guy that's
what's
obsessed
it
with his car.
Yes, but it's like a garden tool.
Yeah,
it's like
hoe.
You're a hoe.
You're a hoe.
Oh, you're a hoe.
No,
it's
what
like
is that?
I don't. Oh my God, I'm
who
going
cares?
crazy. It's a garden tool,
It's a
okay,
garden
and
tool.
it ain't no hoe.
So
but he
I
gets
was
it in his head.
I was happy.
Well, that guy was an idiot, but then he takes Moses captive, and so you're like, fuck. Now they are both handcuffed. The 2 little lovers are both handcuffed, and so we get to the next night, and guess who's going to be the star of this show? Moses.
Which it's really interesting the way that he puts her in a seat, handcuffed.
To watch.
Like she's got a really good seat.
She's got front row tickets to this show. So he's starting to be lifted up in the harness and do the camera, Tim.
Oh, okay.
He's got his camera. He's going to do his next video. Okay, Tim's going to be Tucker.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm Moses. Okay,
okay.
So Zephyr's like saying, stay calm. The sharks won't affect you. So they lower him into water and he stays calm. And guess what? The sharks swim away. So Tucker is pissed. So he brings him back, stabs him twice to get him bleeding, and then starts to put him back in the water.
I was pissed because I was like, okay, sharks you probably can't survive, but also 2 stabbings you can't survive.
And also that means he's suffering while he's going to suffer more. But before he can lower him into the water again, he sees a helicopter come by. So he like takes them back.
Oh shit.
Oh shit, I better
How
not.
do I explain this?
I can't do my shark show. Canceled. Cancel the shark show.
I kind of like that it was right in the middle of the day.
Yeah.
I mean, just because.
Well, and he had to like end that. So he puts them both in captivity. Now, poor Moses is like bleeding to death.
Yeah. And it's so. Okay. He's in a bathing suit.
Can we talk about one funny thing? When Moses goes to capture her, he has full clothes on. When he gets knocked out and taken into captivity, Tucker has removed his shirt and put him in a bathing suit. And I was like, is this just to like...
Wait, was he? That's right. He was in jeans and a t-shirt.
Everyone in our audience snickered because it was so obvious. This guy's so attractive and he has a chiseled body that they're like, let's get him shirtless again.
It made me like stop eating Sour Patch Kids for like 1 second.
Except you had already had 2 containers full.
I really did.
And no.
I was like, if my body's going to look like that by summer.
Yeah. The thing is, he's like in his 20s. And
but 48-year-olds can't get it?
Not as easily as 28-year-olds. But it was really funny because the audience was like, we know what you're doing, filmmaker. Like, you're putting him in his swimsuit. Oh, of course I didn't mind. But I also knew, like, it was like, would a killer stop to remove his shirt?
Well, the leads were so attractive. I already said that like 5 times prior to now.
Tell me more about how attractive they are.
They're so attractive that I would just watch them like have lunch.
They definitely could both be models. They both could be surf models. And also, they made a really cute couple.
They really did. I was rooting for them, as Tyra Banks said.
We were all rooting for you, Tim. Okay, so... Okay, we get to Zephyr is going to make another escape attempt, but this one was probably one of the most
exciting,
and I was going to say most uncomfortable scenes to watch, other than the girl being lowered to her death and getting ripped apart by sharks. So this is how committed Zephyr is. When your hand is handcuffed to something. Now, the reason why you can't get the handcuff off
your thumb is in the way.
Your thumb. But if you break your thumb, you can kind of slide it off. So she starts by breaking her own thumb, which was tough to watch enough.
Isn't that interesting? Like breaking of the thumb and then being fed to sharks are 2 different levels of squirm.
Exactly. But if you think it stops there, oh, no, it doesn't. Because her thumb, even though it's broken and hurting and dark blue and everything, it still won't let the handcuff come off. So she proceeds to bite off her entire thumb. I'm talking rip it off and spit it out.
She becomes a shark to herself.
I think, and this is a question I have for you, Tim. If you were in a life or death situation, do you think you could literally bite your own thumb off?
I think I could. I'm not just saying that for like shock. I really think like if the guy that I loved was bleeding out and like there's a killer upstairs and sharks are waiting for me, I would be like, okay, this is my only option.
Here's my honest thing, and
Desperate.
I hope I never have to be in that situation. I think I could if I had to break my thumb, like crack it, but to tear it off with my teeth as blood is going out, I don't know. I think I would pass out, A, from the pain, and B, from the just trauma of it.
But I remember when we thought there was something going on in a movie theater, like fight or flight.
Yes.
And I flight.
But running is easier than ripping your thumb
at the same time, I think
You could do it?
Yeah, because I definitely have that nervous energy. Like, okay, like if this is my only option, I'm going to do it.
Do you know why I could see that for you? Because we've talked about this before. You can smash a bug with your bare hand. I can't do that. That takes some guts. No pun intended.
No,
Get it, guts?
I will kill it. If there's a roach, I'll just go like this.
I like bare hands, people. I can't do that.
And then I'll go like this.
And then he licks it.
Ow, I'm grossing myself out.
So I'm going to vomit. But let me just tell you, the way the theater was squirming, this movie is another one of those movies you got to see with a theater, because this scene, I was looking at all the friends we were with and everyone was like covering their eyes. Like it was so tough to watch because she's ripping into her thumb and finally gets it off. So she gets the handcuff off. Her hand is bleeding. She has to cover it.
It's kind of interesting because then when the bad guy comes in and like there's blood all over her sheet and he's like, oh, are you underneath here? He pulls it off and there's her thumb.
Yes, just her thumb. But she's waiting behind the door to knock him and try to get out. Now, I don't remember if this was the escape attempt. There were so many when she almost made it to shore.
Right. Well, like there's a lot of like the scene that really disturbed me the most is like she locks him in a room and then she starts a fire in there and then like he gets out and then she's climbing up this thing and then he pulls her down and then like she hits her head on this like I don't know what that is.
Brutal fighting. But the thing is, she does finally get into the water. I don't remember if it was this time or another time, but she's swimming to shore.
Yeah, like a party island or something.
He goes into like one of those like portable tugboat type things that has a motor on it and is following her. And she makes it to shore and she's right about to get to this bar where people are. And right before she gets there, he tackles her and I thought he was smothering her.
Me
to
too.
death.
I thought he was like gonna crack her neck, but I was like, he can't crack her neck because then the movie'd be over.
I was worried that because he had his hand over her nose and mouth, I was like, oh my God, are you suffocating her? But like, again, as we all know, watching any chase scene when the person gets so close to safety just to get captured, it is heartbreaking.
Yeah, it was. And then he just threw her back on the boat to go on the bigger boat.
All that she did just to get thrown back on the boat, get back. So she also, though, was nice enough. She wrapped up Moses's injuries so at least the bleeding would stop. Anyway, we get to kind of the final thing. He finally is like, okay, fuck this girl. Now she's going to be fed to the sharks. Like he'd been waiting. She was his big finale.
He was a nice guy because then he took the time to put the hot guy in the spot. He got a front row seat.
Yeah. Because she's like, now you get to watch her. So she's on the harness. She's about to be lowered down into the sharks. But she knows something that no one else knows, is that if you don't move at all. Yeah. If you're calm, the sharks will go away. But she also is so tough that she starts like climbing up the harness.
And remember,
to the hook.
She's missing a thumb to climb.
Missing a thumb. So she's literally climbing with 1.5 hands, pulling herself up with more upper body strength than I would ever have.
You know, I don't think she's eaten anything in like 3 days.
Definitely not. Probably not used the facilities, Tim, because it was just a bucket. She's climbing up this hook. She is able to unlatch herself, falls into the water, but you're thinking, well, shit, now she's going to be eaten by the sharks.
The cool thing was like, this is the biggest fin that we've seen in the film.
Yes. So this huge great white comes by and all the other smaller sharks scatter. White? I think it was.
I mean, he said it was like, I can't talk Australian.
Let's say it was a great white. So I can't talk Australian. You mean English?
But he said, oh, that's a gold. I don't know.
He said, can I give you a tip? Do you want to know how to talk with an Australian accent?
Yes, please.
Okay. So I can teach you how to say razor blades with an Australian accent. Say the words rise up lights. Go.
Rise up lights.
Say it again.
Rise up lights.
Say it again.
Rise up, lights.
That's razor blades, an Australian accent. Isn't that amazing? Rise up, lights.
Oh my God, I'm ready to go. Where's
Tim,
my
you
passport?
can play the part. That is an awful joke that I heard from one of my sister's friend years ago, and I found it so ridiculously funny that I still use it.
You know what?
Rise up, lights.
What was the joke they had in the movie? They're like, what's the skin around a dick?
What's the useless piece of skin around a dick?
A man.
The man. Yeah. Anyway.
Comedy.
Anyway, so she's in the water by herself. The shark's coming. This is where I will say it felt a little CGI-ish, like when the shark's approaching her, and then it like swims right by her and they make like eye contact.
Yeah, it was actually a beautiful scene. Like, I was like, I don't care that the shark is fake. I don't care that she looks CGI. But when I say that, I'm not saying it's like the worst CGI, like what's a really, like Sharknado. Rise up lights. I'm saying it like it's a beautiful scene. Like the shark makes eyes with her. I was like, oh, this is nice.
It felt like almost like an understanding. Like, I know I'm reaching with this, but it almost felt like the shark knew that she understood and respected it. Because the funny thing is we forgot to mention this. There's a one scene where he is talking to her about how much like he respects sharks and everything. And she's like, you are not a shark. Sharks are evolved. You are a despicable little like powerless man. Like, she totally tells him off.
He's like, we're a lot alike. She's like, we're nothing alike.
She's like, no. And she's like, sharks are much more evolved than you. They're powerful. They know, like, and so in a way, when they have that scene where she makes eye contact with the shark, I felt like it was like, the shark knows that she respects it. The shark knows that other guy's just an idiot.
Right. Well, we didn't even discuss like why he's even doing this. Like, his whole thing is he's a collector, like the movie Creep. Like, he's got videotapes.
Oh, he cuts a piece of each victim's hair out and attaches it to their videotape.
That is the one difference between Creep and this movie. It's like, okay, we got the videotapes and they're VHS and all the girls' names on it, and it's very nice and neat. And he likes to sit and eat cereal and just watch them scream.
And dance in his underwear.
Like, this is his idea of fun. But I mean, what a hobby.
It's always tourists, because it's usually people that are on vacation that could disappear easily. The only backstory on him we get is that when he was a kid, he was bit by a shark, because he does show that first couple in the opening scene.
I forgot about that.
Huge shark bite in his side. And apparently maybe that's when he went a little nuts and started respecting sharks and wanting to put on shark shows.
He's like, hey, you know what I need? I need a VHS camera. I need little cuts of hair to remember the ladies.
And I need to kill, and I think it's almost primarily women.
Yeah, because he stabbed that really hot guy at the beginning and then just was like, sharks eat him.
Yeah, I think for the men, he just wants to like kill them, but for the women, he wants to see them suffer. I mean, he's a sick motherfucker.
Right.
But, so she's in the water and she's like that. She's able to sneak up back on the boat, and in a great turning the tables moment, she grabs a harpoon, and right before she shoots Tucker with the harpoon, she has a cheesy one-liner. Now, it's a callback.
I didn't mind it because this guy was an a-hole.
Okay, when she met Moses first, they're talking about some artist they love, and he loves a song called Hooby Dooby, and she's like, that's their dumbest song. What does that mean? And he's like, oh, it means just like a feeling of love, and you're so excited about something. So right before she shoots him, she says, hey, Tucker, Hooby Dooby.
I didn't even remember that.
I thought it was so ridiculous. Now, good callback, bad one-liner. Hey, Tim. Hooby Dooby.
Yabba dabba doo, yabba dabba dee.
Hey, can you imagine? She's like, hey, Tucker, yabba dabba doo.
I thought she was going to just say something like, F you.
Or how about, hey, Tucker, sharks up.
Or like, hey, surf's up.
Yeah, that's what I meant to say.
Yeah.
Hey, Tucker, shark got your tongue? No, it's cat.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one.
That's a good one. I should have got. That's why I'm not writing one-liners in movies. Anyway,
you should.
She shoots him with the harpoon, but here's one more unfortunate thing. So he gets pulled down into the water. A shark grips him apart. Like, it looked like, was he ripped in half?
It was like the shark was jumping kind of like a
free willy.
Like a free willy. But the bad guy was like in his mouth like this, like half of his body.
Of him, yeah.
And he also had the harpoon in him, so he's like,
that looked very CGI-ish, but of course, how else are you gonna have half of a person ripped
how many
apart?
takes can we do?
Yeah, can we rip him apart in the last take?
Can we put him in the shark's mouth?
Can we get a real shark and rip him in half for real?
Yeah, I mean, that looked a little, again, I didn't care that this movie looked a little fake because all the actors were so good and I was rooting for them, and like the bad guy was really bad and the girl was so good that I was like, I'm in this. You was like, you got me, because
got me.
We've seen this story before, but
not this way, though. That's what I say. Not this way.
We knew that she was going to live, right? I mean, did you ever question like, oh, she's going to get eaten by a shark?
There were parts, because some movies end in a bleak way. There were parts when she almost made it to the safety and then was getting smothered. I was like, oh my God, this is it. So I didn't know. But here's where the turn, you think she's safe now. Well, the shark is pulling that guy and the harpoon is attached to the gun and the gun is twisted on her leg. So she gets pulled off the boat. The poor girl hasn't suffered enough. Pulled out to the boat into the water. And you think like she is just, oh my God, is she? And then I remember I was like, that's it? She gets pulled
I was
too?
like, what if like, because like obviously her boyfriend has stabbed twice, beaten up.
Like, is he dead? Is she dead?
Like, okay, so she goes in the water and dies and then he just rots?
Thank God she was fine, even though she got pulled in the water. She gets back, she shoots a flare gun, and people are coming to rescue. But you do think for a moment, I thought, that Moses had bled out to death because she kept being like, wake up, wake up, wake up. And she does have one line that the theater kind of chuckled a little where she's like, you were right about me, because he said, I think you're just afraid to like meet someone. She's like, I do have more to live for than the ocean like you. And then he wakes up and smiles.
Right, like he's almost like, I'll play this.
He's like, I'm going to pretend to be dead until she says something nice. And like, so
he goes, oh, wake up. She likes me.
Oh, I've already bled, 4 quarts of blood out, but like, she loves me.
I wish they would have cut to like
Hooby-Dooby.
I wish they had cut to Hooby-Dooby, but I also wanted like them like just one last little scene where like they were both on the beach like holding hands with their surfboards. I don't know.
Oh, you mean like just like that end, like they're fine.
Just a quick little tag, like
what if instead?
They're fine.
How about this? This would be a great good ending.
Tell me.
Okay. Help comes, they take them to the hospital, and he dies anyway.
Yeah, she's like on the way to the hospital. She's sitting and they're like, oh, beep, beep, we're losing him.
And then they say and they play Hooby-Dooby.
Right, and then they cut to her face and just like one tear comes down.
One tear, and then it's a soap opera, and it says The Bold and the Beautiful.
Right, and then I go, dun, dun, dun.
And then... okay, we get just the torso of him, and he was actually a robot, and so he's like Terminator, like crawling up onto the beach.
And then she goes, oh my God, my boyfriend's trying to attack me.
No, Tucker, not the boyfriend.
No, Okay, I was like, who? Okay, I forgot that the bad guy's name was Tucker. I'll just call him Courtney.
It's Jai Courtney. If it's Jay, I'm gonna feel real dumb. I hate mispronouncing things. You mispronounce things all the time.
I don't know it, so I can't be sad about it.
One of us has to not mispronounce. So like if we're both mispronouncing, we're fucked.
Well, okay.
Okay, all in all with this movie, look, I really enjoyed this movie. I just thought it was a great cat and mouse type movie. I already said that I liked that it wasn't just about the sharks, that it had this whole dynamic, her versus him. The cat and mouse, the escape attempt scenes were great. She was such a likable character. He was such a scary villain. My only two criticisms of this movie, a little bit of the relationship between her and Moses was a little cringy. Again, I know they needed to build the character, so I don't mind it, but it was a little cringy in some parts. And like you said, some of the CGI-ish images of the sharks did look a little fakey, but again, it's like, how do you do a shark movie today and make it all practical effects? Like, we're not in the 70s. So I let all that go, and I think this is one of the better shark movies that has come out over the last couple decades. I really do.
I agree with everything you said, and like I was entertained by their relationship. I was entertained
because you love the soapy stuff.
I do love the soapy stuff. It's two beautiful leads. I was totally into them. Even the bad guy was not bad to look at. So I was like, visually, I was like in this, and plus it was a beautiful location on the water. Oh. And as someone who grew up with a heavy dose of the movie Jaws, I enjoyed granted, even when the first couple was in the cage, the sharks weren't particularly... I actually was scared by CGI sharks.
Well, yeah,
Not scared, but I was like, it was done in a way that I wasn't like, oh.
Well, but that's what makes a good shark movie versus a cheesy one like The Requiem with Alicia Silverstone.
Oh my God.
That was so obviously not just CGI, but like random stock videos of sharks that looked like they weren't even close to her, and it would be and interspersed with shots of her trying to react from it. It was just so badly put together. This is
a slick,
yes,
stylish, movie, and like the leads are so committed that you're like everyone in this movie is like, we're in this, and it's such an entertaining film. I would be hard pressed to find anyone that walked out and was like, I didn't like it.
Yeah,
like, those people are a-holes.
And that's the thing. There's a reason it's doing so well on Rotten Tomatoes. There's a reason why people are saying it's one of the better shark flicks. Like you said, even though, yes, they hired beautiful people, they were all really good actors. Like, you cannot say, oh, they just hired these people for their looks. These people were committed. Even Moses, everyone was good. Jai Courtney was incredible.
Even the dog, which we all thought was going to get eaten by a shark and did not.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. As a villain, Jai Courtney was incredible as a villain. She was, and I got to look up her name again, Hassie Harrison. Like, I'm going to be watching out for what she does next.
I would see anything that she's in, and I'm gay.
I mean, she needs to be in more horror movies. She was great. And I also think, like you said, like, there were so many suspenseful, good fighting scenes, and the audience in our theater were actively rooting for her. When she finally got the upper hand, some people clapped, some people cheered. I mean, you have a solid film and a solid character that people are really identifying with when the audience participates. I'm talking like when Jamie Lee Curtis says that people said, don't go in there when she was in Halloween. That clip.
I love that you quote that.
By the way, turn on the 60 Minutes interview of Jamie Lee Curtis. You'll find out what I'm talking about. It's worth it.
Well, the cool thing about the movie is that it definitely has the rooting for this girl factor throughout, because you really want her to succeed.
Oh, yeah.
And this audience, I love that there was so much audience participation.
It's great. And again, more reasons for, we talked about this when we talked about Final Destination Bloodlines. If you're going to see an action-packed movie like this, see it in the theater. It is such a different experience than streaming it at home. Yes, you will enjoy it at home, but you're not going to get everyone's collective reaction. Like, you can feel the enthusiasm in the theater. And I feel like, okay, I'm going to be Nicole Kidman for AMC theaters. Tim.
Yeah. Oh, so you're going to see Jurassic Park?
We make movies better. My Coke just appeared out of nowhere. I didn't walk in with it.
And where did Coke go?
Where did Coke go? And it was
there
raining.
A coat check?
There's no coat check at AMC. Okay. And
we always discuss this.
We always discuss, and also her drink appears out of nowhere in that AMC.
Well,
commercial.
she's Nicole Kidman. Maybe someone brought it to her.
Also, why is the theater empty?
She rented it out. She's like, hello, theater. I'm Nicole Kidman. I'm coming to watch Jurassic Park.
Say Razor Blades.
Razor Blades. Oh my God, Nicole Kidman should have been her mother.
Who? Oh, she actually, they would have looked alike.
Yeah, there could be a sequel, and Nicole Kidman be like, my daughter was almost eaten by a shark.
With razor blades.
With razor blades.
I can't. Oh my God. I feel like people watching this are either going to be...
They're like, those two don't try Aussie.
You're either laughing hysterically right now
or hate us.
You hate us and are annoyed.
Sorry.
And I hope that you are laughing with us, because we are having a good time, and all we want is for you to have a good time. That's why we're called Happy Horror Time, right?
Well, I prefer sad time.
Sad horror time.
Horror time.
That's our offshoot one where we only discuss depressing movies.
Bleak.
And we talk about that. That's great.
I mean, I was definitely uncomfortable, and I did tell you I did look at my watch like 3 or 4 times, just because like there's only so much torture I could see a grown man do to a woman. You know what I mean?
No, torturous parts are tough to watch, but there was enough her fighting back that
it's gratifying.
And yes, and you this is a movie you can stomach because of what ends up happening to him. And again, I just think this was one of, like, obviously Jaws, Deep Blue Sea was a great shark movie. Or
even Dead Calm.
Yes, Dead Calm was good. I liked The Shallows. I know you didn't love The Shallows.
That was fakey.
I like The Shallows, but there are certain shark movies that stand out to me as ones that I always remember, and this is going to be one of them. It just really is. It's different than the others, and it was great performances, and it was just a good time. Good time. You know, we had the Hoobie Doobies.
I had the Hoobie Doobies.
Now, I want to look that up. Like, I think they actually at the end played the song, so it must be a real song. I don't know what artist they were talking about.
Oh, it was Pearl Jam.
Pearl Jam did. Yes.
Yeah.
I think that was their second album, Hoobie Doobie. Yeah, exactly.
It was really good.
Okay. Anyway, well, thank you all for watching, and we'll talk with you soon.
Bye.
Bye. Oh, get that on film. Did you get that on film?
I got it on film. Thanks for listening to another episode of Happy Horror Time.
If you'd like to support the podcast, please sign up to be a patron at www.patreon.com/happyhorrortime. As a patron, you get access to all our bonus content, which now includes 2 new bonus episodes every month, a monthly after show mini episode, access to our Discord community so you can chat with us directly, and the chance to review a film with us in one of our bonus episodes.
Patrons also get all our regular episodes ad-free and a day early, our monthly newsletter, the chance to vote in polls, and autographed Happy Horror Time stickers.
I'm Matt Emmert.
And I'm Tim Murdoch.
And we hope you have a happy horror time.